006-0045400 with a variance for relief from the setback from the southern property line from 245 feet to 136 feet for industrial agricultural IA special exemption to allow the placement of a new cell tower. The property is in Section 8, Township 8 North, Range 9 West, with no physical address, as shown on the survey attached hereto, approved by the Parish Planning Commission on October the 2nd, 2023.
I'll offer that one. I'll second.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood?
Yes.
Pass.
May I ask where it is? Close to where it is?
This is the one that's in Roebling.
Malona, can you address that, please?
Can you? Sure. Good evening, Mark Pearl on behalf of the applicant. It's, over off Highway 6 on the other side of 49 in Roebling.
It's in Roebling. Was it in Roebling? Okay. I need to see you.
Any other questions?
No, that's good, thank you.
Okay. B, council to introduce ordinance 022-2023 to effect a zoning amendment of parcel 001027980 to RMH1 zoning for the placement of a manufactured home. The property is in Section 2, Township 9 North, Range 8 West, with a physical address of 2660 Johnson Chute Road, Natchitoches, Louisiana 71457, as shown on the survey attached hereto, approved by the Parish Planning Commission on October 2nd, 2023.
I'll second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn? Oh, Mr. Cheekwood?
Yes.
Question. Why is number C on here, and I mean,
Can I change your B? Well,
oh, no, I'm sorry, I thought you were, I'm just
We're still
jumping the
doing
gun, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. Now C.
No, I'm sorry to ask the question too quickly. Can I answer it now?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Has this been an addition to the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Is
It was
this,
revised.
is this the way we operate? I just wanna know, because we can't keep moving the goalposts, you understand, to where it suits somebody. I mean, that's just not the way for years we've sit here and say, we can't add to the agenda, and then one person say no or whatever, you know, which it'll never be me, because I'm here to do what's right for the people, and it doesn't matter to me if it's something that need to be put on the agenda. But I know this is not the way we've been conducting business up here, and we just can't slip it through without having some discussion about it, because I don't want to see this happen again and again and again. You know, when people did this whole new form of government thing, that was one of the biggest things. Oh, they take care of business and we knew nothing of it. So you guys sit here and this is about to occur, and I just want to make sure that we understand what we're doing here. It has not been offered to add to any agenda, anything, and then we just get this today saying that whatever reasoning, and I'd like to know why.
When,
Yeah.
okay, when it came to me and everything, it was, the agenda was already sent out, and then I was asked to put it on the agenda, and then I called the chairman, and then the chairman told me it was okay, and then the parish attorney said as long as it's 24 hours within the time period, we could revise the agenda.
This is new. When do we start doing this? Because once the agenda go out, we don't come back and send another agenda or to add to it. from what I'm understanding, the years I've been sitting here. Mr. Salter, maybe you can answer.
That's when we have a 12 o'clock shut-off on Wednesday before the Monday meeting, and after that, it has to come before council come in unless the attorney has found something that we don't know about.
Mr. Mansour,
Yes,
they want to know why it was changed.
It's my understanding it was a revision at the approval of the chairman of the council who has that discretion, and it was timely under the open meetings law.
So we're going to the open meeting law and not the Natchitoches home rule charter rules that we've been living and governing by as long as we've been sitting here for the last so many years we've been under this form of government. Now, Mr. Salter, I think you objected to something last month when they tried to add something on the agenda and you said no, and that squashed it. So if we're going to get away from operating like that, please let me know, because I think that's just the right way to do things. Now, if you say it's a cutoff date, then the chairman or whoever says, oh no, we can send another message out that we're going to add to it. Tell me, is this the way we're operating up here?
I'm assuming you got a copy of the revised agenda that was timely done, that added that that would be not appropriate if you were not advised more than the time limit, meaning by Friday at noon. Cheryl was, well, all the council provided with a copy
I
of the
emailed
final
it.
revised.
The first time I emailed it out that night, that Thursday evening around about 4:45, and then had another one sent out. No, I had one a little after 12, and then I had another one at 4:45. It was sent out the same day, that Thursday, and I sent an email to the media and to the agenda list and all the council people to let them know that it was revised.
I mean, I got it. I got the email.
That's what I'm looking at, yeah.
I got it whenever you sent it out.
You got a copy of that open meeting law that you can give us on this?
It's in the statutes, yes, sir, I can direct you.
Yeah, get us one, and we're working by emails and revised editions.
Well, but you remember something, what I have problem with. Next month will be another new peekaboo. Hey, look, this is something that we see in whatever law number we want to come up with. You know, if we have been operating like this for 10 to 12 years, which I've never sit here and said no to stop something to be added to this agenda, and I will not do so today. But if we're going to operate like that, we just can't come along and just act like this didn't just so happen to come up here today. Yeah.
Well, according to the charter, if it comes to the council for amendment and one person don't vote for it, it's dead. So we didn't even get a chance. See, we just shoved down our throat.
That's why I'm bringing this up. Because, I mean, if we're going to continually changing the rules on how parish government operate, the community need to know. Because I can assure you, just as this change occurred, there'll be some more. So I'm done with it.
The community was notified timely when it was provided to the media and to all the council members. You might not like it, Chris, but ultimately, if it was approved by the chairman, it's in accordance with the law. It was appropriate, and it was a revision of the agenda by the secretary. And you are correct. If after that time the agenda is amended, then it requires a council vote.
So how long a period did you say? 24 hours? What is it, 12 hours? 24 hours.
She did it on Thursday before the
Well, I mean,
meeting
you know,
at 5:30.
we need to be upfront and let the public know this is what.
The public was informed of it.
We had another district attorney who sit there before you sit there, and laws it didn't go that way. So, I mean, I understand your concern and what you're saying, but I'm telling you that this is not how it has been going up here all these years. And
Well, just for the record, I did get the revised. I'm looking at it right here.
I got it too, but
Okay.
that doesn't fly, you know.
I try to read laws, and I'm try to operate under what the law of the state or the federal law says that we're supposed to do. Now, what has been going on for all the years that I have not been here, I don't know if it was by the law of the land at that particular time or by the law that someone else decided that they wanted to initiate. But right now, we're going by the open meetings law. That is in place by the state, and I will operate that way.
I've had my discussion on the matter.
And I'll make sure, Mr. Chairman, that you do follow the law if I'm aware of it.
And you've done that before.
Thank you.
C, council to introduce ordinance 023-2023 to authorize an act of sale by the parish of Natchitoches to sell certain adjudicated properties, parcels 901-0115600, 901-0127000, 901-031590, and 901-0229800 by public auction, and further providing with respect thereto.
Question on this.
Yeah.
Do you, Melonia, do you have a description of these properties, where they at, and how big a lots they are?
I don't do adjudicated properties, but I can look up the
But
cost.
somebody ought to give us something to look at, where they at.
Is this the one we tabled or something?
I sent you a couple, well, I don't know. Earlier this year, we hired E&P Consulting to handle our adjudicated properties. They forwarded these requests. These are properties that have been adjudicated, so we're no longer collecting any kind of property tax on these properties, and these are up for auction so that they will be put back on the tax rolls, and we'll start collecting property tax on these properties. Just a minute, I think I can pull it up here. Most of these are either there's a lot next door. The first parcel is next door. It's on Sherry Loop. The neighbors are buying it. Same thing. The next lot is it doesn't have an address. It just gives a plat of Hurdville subdivision. The next is also a lot next door. It is Alman's Addition, and the last one is the same thing in Alman's Addition, and it's a lot next door. So these are people that are buying adjudicated property next to them, and it'll go to auction.
How do we know they're going to buy them? They got the bid on them?
Well, yes, they have worked through this consulting company to get everything in order so that when it goes to the public auction, they'll be the ones that auction it. Or actually make bids on it, yes. They have they have put a deposit on it.
They have?
They have put a deposit on
Well, I
it.
can't go bid on it then.
No, they can. Anybody can go bid on it.
You can go bid on it.
But they have started the process.
They done put a bid on something?
No, they put a deposit down for this person to
There's
do
gonna
the
be an
title work.
Open, who
It's
thinks?
a sheriff. It says right here.
Open deal, it's
It's
gonna
a
be
public auction.
private?
It's a public auction on the front of the courthouse, like they do all of them.
Okay, I need some maps. I wanna know where this is at. I wanna go look at every one of them.
Okay.
Let me just introduce them.
All we're doing is introduce.
You could,
No one.
we can pull it up on the tax assessor's office, or
Yeah, I
anyone
wanna
can.
see what we're doing here, because this is a strange piece of work.
Oh, this is a good thing for the parish because it gives us more property tax.
That's all I got on it.
Mr. Allen?
You are? Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
I'm abstaining right now. I don't feel comfortable with what's occurring.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
No.
Pass.
Whatever. That's funny.
Okay, can I get a motion to go into public hearing?
I'll offer.
Ms. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salton.
Yes,
It's open. Okay, public hearing. A. Council to adopt ordinance 19/2023 to dedicate all gaming revenue from the state of Louisiana to the highway fund. B. Council to adopt ordinance 020/2023 to effect a zoning amendment of 2 tracts of land that are being divided from approximately 10.85 acres parent tract, parcel number 0010291790 to B3 zoning for the use of starting a short-term rental business. The property is in section 24, township 9 north, range 8 west, with no physical address as shown on the survey attached here too, approved by the Parish Planning Commission on September 11, 2023. So we're gonna go and have discussion on A.
what highway fund is that, the state highway?
The Parish Highway Fund.
Parish Highway.
The long gaming revenue from the state coming to Natchitoches Parish Highway Department, is that what y'all saying?
Yes, sir.
That'd be $7 million, wouldn't it?
No, sir.
42,000. 42.
Is there any more discussion on A? Any discussion from the audience on A? Mr. Holmes?
Can you hear me from here, or do I need to?
You need to come up to the mic, please. Page 2. Page 2.
And raise your right hand. It's right there.
Hi, my name is Wayne Hall, and I just want to know how much money is involved in this, or was involved, or?
42,000.
I'm good?
Yeah.
So this is money that is related to sports wagering on your phone. The parishes that allow that is getting a small percentage of what the state gets. For the state fiscal year 2022 and 2023, our portion was $43,877.52.
That was for both years?
That's for both years. They are proposing that we'll start getting this monthly at the start of the new fiscal year for the state, but we haven't seen any more revenue at this point.
Okay, so this is small.
It is small.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's what they need.
Is there any more discussion on A? If not, we move to B for discussion. A complaint did come in on, but he wasn't here to just come forth, but they was against it.
Against what?
Okay.
For B.
B.
Okay. Did you read it?
Mhm. But that was only one that called in, but he wasn't able to come. He just expressed his concern that he wasn't for it.
So they're gonna put a racetrack on it or something? What's
I don't
going
know
on?
what this is
What's
for.
going on that property, Maloney?
It's a,
It's for a short-term rental.
Airbnb.
Come forward,
I was
man.
here last month.
State your name and what's the
It's for
purpose.
Airbnb. It's for Airbnb.
My name is Becky Stevens, and I live in that area. It's actually District 6, Fire District 6. which we know is gonna be an Airbnb. My concern is, and I've already talked to, Mr. Sally, if it would be more than one unit on this property. It's a direct access by my house. We did come last month against it because we are a dead-end street, there's not that many people on it, and we have grandkids that are out there playing. But my concern, my son, and I'm speaking for my son and daughter-in-law, property tax. If this is approved, will it affect theirs and ours, our property tax? Will it go up? I mean, we're hardworking people. My husband was a breadman for 30 years. So.
It will for those people, if they're gonna put any structures on the property, it won't
But
have.
if it affects the value and increases mine, will it increase my property tax if that increases that?
I don't get nobody here from the tax office. I wouldn't think so, but you know anything about that, Jennifer? It's not on your property.
No, we're just wondering that, would it overall concern, I mean, there's 3 families that live down there 4 families that live down there full time. There's only 5 houses. And, which I'm the one, because I work at Northwestern, I get off early enough, I can come here and speak for my kids. That's their concern, is if it raises their property tax, raises their property value, will their tax go up? I mean, like us, but as well as you know, the economy like it is, they can't afford any increases.
I wouldn't think so.
You know, so
I don't
know.
think it would
That's what
affect
I'd like an
anybody.
answer to.
It won't affect anybody but where the property is going to be. I mean, whatever the property, I don't know what kind of structure or what, but that's the only thing that's gonna make the property value go up. Settlement.
Yeah, I mean, if it would have a,
Do you know the people that's just doing this?
yes, sir,
Are they here?
Mr. Sally.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dennis. Okay. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Sally.
Yeah, he talked to us
Last month.
You gonna put up one building?
Well, as of right now, we had it divided into 2 separate parcels, you know, with the possibility of a second parcel of the good, you know, so. And do I need to come up?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we had by the way, I'm Richard Sally, and we had a discussion with Ms. Stevens, and I do understand her concerns. You know, that she does kind of live at the end of that street, which is Lee Stevens Drive, you know, there on Sibley Lake. And my son has bought the house to the east, which I don't know Miss Stevens that used to live there. What's her name?
Marjorie and Lois Stevens were the ones that owned
Okay,
the property
all right, my
previously.
son bought that property, and what he did, I've had this property kind of adjacent to there for 18 years, but we had the way the lake was built, it cut off like 1 3/4 acres that I haven't had access to all this time. My son bought the Stevens house, and we've already had a 30-foot easement that runs across the north end of the property, which would be an extension, really, of the parish road. I mean, it wouldn't be parish road, but it would be at the end of the parish road, and we would put a driveway due east to touch Mr. Carey's property and then go south to duck into my property down there. So these buildings, 1 building, possibly 2, would be on the east side of Miss Stevens' house, which would be Miss Marjorie Stevens' house. It'd be on the other side, on the east side of that. So it would have nothing really to do with Miss Stevens, this Miss Stevens, other than her concern is traffic, you know, and I understand, I've got 7 grandkids also, would be the traffic and all, and I tried to let them know that, you know, I'm not a big company or anything like that, just putting something in that won't be monitored. You know, that I will do everything in my power to help keep it private and keep it, it's gonna be gated. And I didn't have a chance to tell you, but the gate will be moved down that driveway far enough that there shouldn't be anybody turning around in your driveway. They'd be turning around basically in my son's driveway, you know, if they can't go past that gate. So I wasn't gonna put it right in front. So she's already made a concern, or had the concern, the UPS and everybody else turns around in her yard.
Yeah.
And I can understand her concerns on this, you know. But I think the Airbnbs, which are gonna be A-frames, they're gonna be about 1,500, 1,600 square feet. 2 bedroom, 2 bath downstairs. One of them's gonna be all handicapped because this is a historical town. I feel like there will be a lot of elderly people maybe visiting, you know, so I was gonna make one half of it handicap accessible, and then it'll have a loft in the top, so it should, you know, take care of about 10 people, maybe, you know, and then we were gonna build piers out into the lake, and that way it would be more of a year-round venue than just a Christmas festival type deal, you know. So I think it'll bring a lot of good vibes to the city, you know, I really do, so. Of course, I'm in it for the money, you know, I'm in it for the money. And that will probably raise my property tax because that 1 3/4 acres is useless now. And y'all probably ain't getting much of nothing off of it, so.
Well, we run into a scenario here, we want people to prosper, we want more taxes coming in, just like Julie mentioned a minute ago. And then this lady here, she's worried about the traffic. And it's just like somebody that moves out in the woods and they build them a house, the first log truck come by, they just say, my God, they tearing the road up, you know. Are we gonna stop, or we're gonna move forward and try to let progress take its place?
We're going to try to work together with them. I mean, yes, we do have some that tend to come down there. Yes, the post office, FedEx, UPS, and whoever else that gets lost makes a UE in my yard. And my grandkids, Patrick and Gwen, that live next to us, they've been out there about 2 years. They have a number of grandkids that are out riding bikes, playing basketball. That was my concern in the last meeting, is the traffic. Once they get to his easement, that's fine, but what comes in is what I have concern about, and I voiced that to you.
And I understand that, and I told you and your husband last time that, you know, whether I built my personal house over there or whether I did an Airbnb, there's gonna be construction traffic for a period of time.
Yeah, and we understand that,
You know,
and we can
and
work.
I'm gonna have to help monitor that, you know. It's gonna be concrete trucks, gonna be delivery trucks, all this kind of stuff. But, and I told them that out of my pocket, I would take care of speed limit signs, you know, if I can do that, you know, children at play signs, whatever. I'll do that out of my pocket, you know, to help the neighbors. You know, it's not only her, it's the other 3 or 4 in the area,
yes.
You know, so.
Sound like you guys are working together, and
Well, I'm
many
gonna try-
times
I'm
we
gonna try
don't,
to
we
do
don't hear
everything
that
I
up
can.
here, so that's wonderful, and I think
Well,
y'all
it
just need
wasn't
to
that
continue
good the
working.
first meeting.
Yeah, well,
No,
I mean,
and they had a misunderstanding
Yeah.
of where they were gonna be built.
well, I
was
think
the
with
deal.
communication like you guys do,
Right,
you go
right.
right out, so.
No,
appreciate you.
I hope that we can make this thing go and that we can drink coffee.
That's my main concern, is the property tax. How would I find out how it would affect our property tax? If it is their value, does it increase my property value? Does it make my property tax more?
Well, you'd have to talk to that office.
Yeah.
And that, we can't get you that.
Tim Page downstairs in the tax assessor's office.
They downstairs.
I mean, we're just,
But it won't be.
blue collar workers, like I said. I work at Northwestern, my husband was a braid man for 30-something years. He worked for a wholesale and Sunday, so.
We'll give them a call and.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I do feel, I mean, I feel for you. I do understand your concerns.
And, well, and Ray and Carmen, I mean, they're young, to have a young child.
We have to move on.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussions? If not, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll offer that.
Second.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass, it's closed. Let's go into action now. Council to adopt ordinance 19/2023 to dedicate all gaming revenue from the state of Louisiana to the highway fund.
Second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. B, council to adopt ordinance 2023 to effect a zoning amendment of 2 tracts of land that are being divided from approximately 10.85 acre parent tract, parcel 0010291790 to B3 zoning for the use of starting a short-term rental business. The property is in section 24, township 9 north, range 8 west, with no physical address, as shown on the survey attached hereto, approved by the Parish Planning Commission on September 11, 2023.
I'll offer.
Second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kilhorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. Resolution. This resolution has 9 sections. I'm gonna read it all. If y'all don't mind, I read it all and you can vote on it all together. If y'all don't mind. Okay. A, council consider approving resolution 054/2023. The Natchitoches Parish government has been afforded the opportunity to participate in the state of Louisiana Community Development Block Grant for year 2023 program administered by the Division of Administration for Natchitoches Parish. The Natchitoches Parish government, as legal recipient of the LCDBG funds, does hereby authorize the following actions. Section 1 is the financial management. To authorize the treasurer, Julie Lockhart, and assistant treasurer, Kathy Creamer, to sign the authorized signature card for a request for payment, and that John Richmond shall certify the correctness of the signatures, and that Citibank is hereby designated as the official depository for direct deposit of grant funds for the LCDBG project. Section 2, requisition of funds. That all invoices for work performed or material used in relations to the LCDBG program prior to payment, and that John Richmond and Julie Lockhart are hereby authorized to sign checks written on the LCDBG account. Section 3 is equal opportunity. The LCDBG program requires appointment by the recipient of the Equal Opportunity Officer, EEO officer, to have responsibility for maintaining all pertinent EEO files. Natchitoches Parish government, that Julie Lockhart is hereby appointed as EEO officer for the life of the LCDBG program, and as such is charged to faithfully execute all duties and responsibilities herein described. Section 4, 504 coordinator. The state requires grantees to designate a responsible person to coordinate by Natchitoches Parish government efforts to comply with Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. Ms. Julie Lockhart has been appointed Section 504 compliance officer. Section 5, compliance with the LCDBG program requires that all grant recipients establish and adopt by resolution a Section 3 plan and appoint a Section 3 coordinator and certification procedures. The Natchitoches Parish government adopts a Section 3 plan and appoints Julie Lockhart as a Section 3 coordinator. Section 6, residential anti-displacement. The LCDBG program requires that all grant recipients adopt by resolution a residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan. The parish government hereby adopts the residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan and appoints Julie Lockhart as its coordinator. Section 7, Language Access Plan. As part of its citizen participation plan to reach out and inform its citizens, the Natchitoches Parish government has developed a language access plan to inform its citizens who may not understand or speak English. The Natchitoches Parish government hereby adopts the language access plan and all update for the parish's LCDBG program. Section 8, Section 504 Grievance Procedure. The LCDBG program requires that all grant recipients adopt by resolution an internal grievance procedure providing for prompt and equitable resolution of complaints alleging any action prohibited by the regulation of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, 24 CFR Part 8, implementing Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 as amended, Public LA 93-112, and the Natchitoches Parish government hereby adopts the grievance procedure for the parish LCDBG program. Section 9, Policy Statement for Communication Information to Persons with Sensory Impairments. The LCDBG program requires that all grant recipients adopt by resolution a policy for communicating information to persons with hearing impairments. The Natchitoches Parish government hereby adopts a policy to utilize the Louisiana Hearing Impaired Relay System for the communicating with hearing impaired persons. The relay numbers are information 1-800-333-0605, TDD user 1-800-846-5277, and voice users 1-800-947-5277.
Yes.
Eric says you do very good. She made it all the way through.
Are there any questions?
I got a question. When y'all wrote these up, whoever wrote this up, y'all used Julie Lockhart. Is that in her capacity as the parish treasurer? Or Julie cuts out, if we gotta redo all this?
It's whoever we designate, so it can be designated to someone else if Julie cuts out.
These were all adopted by, or drafted by, Brian McGee, which is handling the administration. So.
But he asked a legitimate question.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we've had other treasurers who said, poof, and disappear, okay? And, you know.
To be honest with you, I have no idea, nor did I realize that my name was going to appear on there that many times.
Maybe it should have been worded with just position.
It has to be a person, not a position. I do know that.
And that may be.
You may not want it to be your parish. You may decide during the next administration that you don't want it to be the parish treasurer. You may want it to be someone else.
Well, that's not what I was worried about.
It has to be a person, not a position.
Yeah, okay. It has to be a person.
I do know that.
So, okay.
So in other words, if you do cut out, or you leave, or whatever, we gotta do this all over to be in compliance with these.
I leave or whatever, you might have to do them all over again.
Okay.
But
Do you need a motion?
That would be a council decision?
Sure it would be.
Thank you.
It would be a legal opinion. I'm ready to make a motion on this.
Okay. I need a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
But the point was, we'll take it, Mr. Salter. If we don't talk about it, it won't be understood later date either. So.
Y'all been back here a long time. You don't know that if you don't ask it.
Exactly.
Whether it's legal or not.
B, council adopt resolution 055-2023 to authorize Sharon Harris, Executive Director, Natchitoches Office of Community Service, to enter and sign the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, LIHEAP, agreement for grant period 10/1/2023 to 9/30/2025.
Offer.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. C, council to consider adopting resolution 056-2023 that the parish have complied with all requirements of the federal off-system bridge replacement program.
Did we do this annually, Mr. Chairman?
I have no idea. I just got here, remember, a year ago.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So you should ask yourself, or Mr. kill
Well,
someone, someone had
we
to.
used to not do it, but it's changed. We've done this recently already.
Okay.
I
You should have answers.
did you change something as
No, I did
chairman?
We do this every year, though. You know that. We have in the last 4 years.
We have,
Yeah,
we haven't done it already this year.
I don't think so.
I guess time's just flying by, Bill.
I know.
Have we got any bridges on the list, Mr. President? Do we have any bridges on the list for qualified?
Nick Barrett, Parish Engineer, I can answer that question. In the regular formula bridge replacement program, the parish will not be allowed to add any to the program because our balance is, we've actually expended more than what our actual allotment was for the last few years. So in this cycle that, where they're making selections now, in the regular formula program, we will not be able to add. So I think that covers a period of at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. However, in the special bridge program that was provided for by the bipartisan infrastructure law, we will be adding 3 bridges on the Shady Road South Road. Those are in the design process now, and that won't be affected at all by the regular program. It's just, this is additional monies that were made available with the federal.
Well, there has been no bridges put on that list since 2012.
The last ones we got were Clark Road, Good
Yeah,
Hope
and
Road,
it was actually put on Bellwood, and y'all moved it out there, but it was originally for Bellwood where you get these other 3 now. It was moved out there after.
Y'all voted on.
No, we didn't. I wasn't here.
The council did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were notified of that last week, that we're not gonna be able to add any in the regular program. But again, that's
For how many more years now?
I believe it's a 3-year cycle. The current cycle is 3 years.
So those bridges were built in 2019, that's been 4 years.
No, that covered what was done at that point. It covered to the present year. I don't know how they did all that. There was a period of time they weren't getting any new federal monies in the federal bridge replacement program statewide. And so they didn't make any selections anywhere for a couple of years.
Okay, where's the special money coming from with the special bridge program?
It's coming from the federal bipartisan infrastructure law.
And that's gonna be 100% paid?
That's 100% federal money, yes, sir. No, nothing out of the parish. The only thing we'd be responsible for is securing right-of-ways.
Moving any pipes, lines?
Utilities and.
Utilities?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. That's all I got.
Can I get an offer?
I'll offer.
I'll second.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Passed. 12, other agenda items. A, council consider authorizing the parish president to execute change order number 1 for the Natchitoches Parish project number NPPW-2022-01, resurfacing of Hart Road, which provides for alterations in the contract quantities.
Here we go.
There's a number of these here. Mr. Barrett can probably answer all the questions associated with it.
He just said he was the parish engineer, let's hear from him. That's
Are there any
it.
questions about the change order? Again, it just provides for alterations in contract quantities.
How much money we talking about?
For the Hart Road project, this change order amounts to a net increase in cost of $161,816.
And no, we don't even know if that's gonna work, so this road, have those people been paid for that road yet, Jimmy? Have they got all their money for building
For
Hart?
Hart, no.
And we're gonna go back and spend extra.
I can answer that question too. They've been paid for all the work that's been completed to date through the end of September.
But we're going back and get the money out of the regular highway department to go back out there and fix it, something that they hadn't even finished?
No.
Where's the money coming from?
we have actually the two change orders, the one for Hart Road and the one for Harmony Road, really kind of need to be looked at together because there's excess funds remaining from the Harmony Road project, whereas there's a cost overrun for the one for Hart.
Well, when we got the bid and we sit right here and voted to do Harmony, she told us we was $300,000 or so short, but we could get the money somewhere, so now we got an overrun on it. Did they come in cheaper than they bid to start with?
Again, the way this was handled, remember, we received bids on Hart Road before we received bids on Harmony Road, because we didn't even know until we got the bids in on Hart Road if we would have enough ARPA funds to be able to construct or to award or to even bid Harmony Road. So when Harmony Road came in also with the two combined, we had enough ARPA funds to cover both projects. So basically, in that one ARPA program, we were able to do both projects. So now that we're looking at change orders, there were some cost increases on Hart Road that are more than offset by cost underruns on the Harmony Road project.
So that was, that's $6.5 million for two roads, and now we gotta go back and work on them, and now they're even through with them. Who was the engineer on those jobs?
I prepared the plans and took care of
You got any extra
construction
money in your
contract.
department?
Sir?
Do you have any extra money in your department?
I do not.
So we're gonna.
I'm not the funding agency here. You're the funding folks. Not me.
What? So what's the underrun on the Harmony Road?
The underrun on the Harmony Road project, which is change order number 1 on Harmony, is it amounts to over $400,000.
413, 180, 466.
Yes, sir. So that when you combine both of them, there's actually a net surplus of $251,000.
So that'll be just about enough to cover what you're fixing to do?
Oh, there's going to be a surplus remaining. With the change order number 2 has to do the crack seals on Hart Road. That amounts to only like $13,500. On Harmony Road, it amounts to about $2,500. So there'll still be quite enough.
When you leave Highway 9 in the right lane, there's a crack right in the middle of the lane, all the way down to Campty By, and I went in there because they just put some fresh oil, and I didn't want to get on the truck, my wife's truck. But anyway, that's what you're going up there to seal that crack in the right lane?
On which road?
Hart.
There's cracks throughout the project in the paved surface that was paved before they came back, and just in the last few days they've done the remaining paving. But yes, the cracks that you saw in the right lane headed south, that's included. All the cracks that are basically over 1/8 inch wide, we're recommending that we seal in order to prevent moisture from going into the base. And for the benefit of the rest, Mr. Salter knows what caused these cracks. It was basically the overhanging trees in close proximity to the roadway, combined with the extended drought conditions that we've had, combined with the clay subgrade soils, produces something that's called desiccation cracking. It's something I've been studying for over 15 years now. It's something that didn't just occur this summer on Hart Road and Harmony Road. It occurred throughout the state highway system, throughout the parish, and indeed throughout the region, and actually occurred in our neighboring state. Mr. Allen sent me pictures when he was over there and experiencing the same and really more severe desiccation cracking than what we had on our two roads here. A crack such that when he stood on one section, the drop-off went up to above his ankle on his foot, and on another crack section, he was able to actually put his entire hand into the crack. So it's just something that is experienced when we have the combination of drought conditions, clay subgrade soils, and generally in the areas where we have overhanging trees. As a matter of fact, the areas where the cracking occurred on Hart Road in the existing asphalt surfacing were the areas where we had overhanging trees. In the area, kudos to Mr. Hightower and his crew on Harmony Road. He was able to go in and remove quite a lot of, for most of the project length, remove the overhanging trees from close proximity to the road, we have very little cracking on Harmony Road. Again, as the comparison is about 625 linear feet of cracking that needs to be sealed as compared to 3,500 linear feet of cracking that needs to be sealed on Hart Road.
What effect does the overhanging trees have? Is it from the roots?
It's the root system that basically
Goes out to the end of the crown?
Yes. As basically whatever the length of canopy is of the tree, the root system goes at least that far underneath. And it pulls the moisture out. It's worse in tree areas. Sometimes you have it in some parts of the state where you don't even have trees, but it's the combination of the drought conditions and the underlying clay substrate.
Our road from Roebling to Marthaville on the new blacktop, and no cracks in that. It was all laid at the same time. In between, actually, Hart and Harmony, but they don't have any crack. What no trees?
Wasn't
that dry?
Could be lack of trees. It could be the types of subgrade soils is one of the primary considerations. If it's sandier soils, you do not have the desiccation cracking. Where you have clay soils, which are highly subject to moisture retention, and then when you withdraw the moisture, you have great volume changes in those clay type soils. So where we don't see it on the state highway system, it's generally, or on the parish roads, it's
That's probably clay all the way because there's ponds on both sides of the road. You don't have ponds in sandy soil, so it has to be clay.
Yeah, well, it could be silty clays. There's different degrees of the desiccation cracking. Sometimes we just get lucky, I guess.
I was out there a lot of that project. Go check the thickness of that asphalt. It's way thicker than Harmony and Hart. That's a lot thicker asphalt, a lot more laid out there. You don't have less cracking involved.
Well, our standard designs on parish roads basically is 2 inches of asphalt. In this case, with both Hart and Harmony Road, with the liquid polymer material we utilize as the base, we have a stronger base course out there, which means you don't have to have as thick of asphalt to provide the same pavement structure and that resists the
So your recommendation to A, B, C, and D is the recommendation to correct the problem that you have run into here or something?
Well, again, change orders number one on both Hart and Harmony, which would be agenda items A and B there, 12A and 12B. That's just to account for changes in item quantities and so forth for the base project. All right. The C and D is actually to correct or to actually seal the cracks that are developed so that it'll prevent the moisture infiltration and it will cause give us longer life on the pavements.
Okay. So we got the money, or we don't have the money, can't be done?
Yeah.
Okay, we got the money.
We got
So
money.
these are only
They're
2
gonna
rows in this
add money
parish.
back.
We can't go on and finish these little 2 rows. We need to.
No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We just can't sit here and beat this up. Like, let's move forward with completing the project and get this behind us once and for all. So, do I need to make on A?
Let me, since we say coincide together, let me read them all, and y'all can make one thing. B, council consider authorizing the parish president to execute change order number 1 for the Natchitoches Parish project number NPPW 2022-02, resurfacing of Harmony Road, which provides all alterations in the contract quantities. Council to consider authorizing the parish president to execute change order number 2 for the Natchitoches Parish project number NPPW 2022-01, resurfacing of Hart Road, which provides for sealing desiccation cracks that have occurred in the completed asphalt surfacing. D, council to consider authorizing the parish president to execute change order number 2 for the Natchitoches Parish project number NPPW 2022-02, resurfacing of Harmony Road, which provides for sealing desiccation cracks that have occurred in the completed asphalt surfacing.
So I did hear you say something about a number of 400 and some thousand somewhere down the line. Was it on B?
Yes, sir, on the B, it's 413,000 cost savings. On Hart Road, it's 161,000 cost overrun. So they offset each other, and we'll have excess funds remaining.
Okay. Marty, I think you.
Excess fund is remaining after we approve this is funding us right now. What about ditching and put culverts in on Harbor?
That is another agenda item that we'll discuss, but basically, it looks like we have almost $300,000 to do that. Not only because of the overruns and underruns that are balancing out, but also the contractor finished today laying the asphalt on Hart Road.
Yeah, I was out there.
And so we actually have an underrun in the quantity of that item as well.
Okay.
So when you couple that with the excess funds remaining after we do all the change orders, if y'all vote to do that, we'll have about $299,000 to do something else with, including possibly what's on the agenda.
There's any more questions, anything?
Okay. Just one other, Nick. I know today, me, you, and the president and chairman walked that road. Now, you said we was talking that day about cracks, half inch or less. We wasn't gonna be concerned too much about, but now we're gonna do every crack.
Well, while we're sealing, I think it's prudent for us to go ahead and do, I say every crack, some are still hairline.
Yeah, I
We won't
looked at
seal
it today,
those.
yeah.
But basically, anything that's about 1/8 inch or wider.
Okay.
Because those will allow moisture to penetrate
Right.
unless we seal.
Okay. And this will hold for how long?
We should get the design life out of the project. I mean, we design
Okay.
pavements normally for a 20-year life. Geotechnical testing laboratory, when they did their testing and they made their recommendations, they basically say that as far as if we take care of the cracks, it should not affect the service life of the pavement.
Okay, and it will be okay for that trash compactor truck coming in and out, and it's not gonna break us down in another year or two?
No, sir. I mean, when we design the base, by including the liquid polymer,
Right.
you get several times the normal strength that if you rather than just use the cement.
Okay.
So I had all that in mind,
Right.
including possible future timber.
Haul out here, okay. That's what I need to know. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're talking about A, B, C, and D?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
This is passed for A, B, C, and D. E, council to authorize parish president to enter into a CEA between Natchitoches Parish government and Bearden Construction for installation of road aggregate on Robert Baxter Road.
What is, we doing CEAs again? I'm just asking.
So this came to my attention after this work was done. I was accepting their work as a donation to the parish.
Yeah.
But it came under the advice of council that we probably should ask them if they would enter into a CEA. So with your permission, I'd like to go back to them and tie up that paperwork.
I'm just asking. I knew we hadn't hit a CEA in a long time.
And it was just the advice of council.
That's fine. Thank you.
That's what we're going to do.
We agreed at the council, anytime two parties was contributing, it had to be a CEA.
Yeah.
So that's what happened here.
Yeah. Okay.
And Mr. Mansour took care of it, and we're fixing to vote on it and have that done.
I have no problem with it.
I'll offer.
I'll second. Okay.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page? Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, Mr. Salter.
L, council to duly authorize the parish government to amend the CEA to add the insurance of not exceeding of Capital Area Finance Authority revenue bonds in one or more series, the bonds, to finance loans for first-time home buyers within the jurisdictional parish of the authority and such other governmental units, the participating jurisdictions, whose governing authority authorized and directed the execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement, a CEA,
with the authority under the provision of the Act and other applicable constitutional and statutory authorities. This was tabled last time, and the lady is here to explain it or have questions.
Yeah.
If you have questions.
We got questions.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Bridget with the Capital Area Finance Authority, also known as CAFA. We currently offer our program through a cooperative endeavor agreement. And what we do is we provide down payment assistance to those borrowers who need a little assistance as far as either it's the down payment, the closing costs, or even for prepaid items. We've been faced with a significant increase in terms of the rates in the past year, much greater than what we initially had thought. So what we're offering to do is wanting to issue a bond that would help to stabilize this, offer something that was lower to these borrowers. Again, there's no risk to the parish. There's no financial obligation. We absorb all of that. All we're asking is that we can basically amend to enter into a bond with it to help stabilize some of these interest rates.
Who will the bond belong to?
Us. We would be issuing the bond, working with our financials. I mean, well, with our, Butler Snow as our counsel on it.
Yeah, I received an email from Cheryl today that had a little more information. So I was familiar with the East Baton Rouge, right? I wasn't. East Baton Rouge Mortgage Finance Authority does issue bonds. I was familiar with that. I didn't realize that CAFA had basically took over for them. So now that we won't be mentioned in the bonds, it won't be debt on the parish. We're good.
That was the concern.
That was the concern.
All right.
So, a little further clarity, I want to make sure, so this is a CEA, and this doesn't change any of our responsibilities in the CEA, but because we're in a CEA, they have to get our permission to go forward with the bond they need to stabilize their interest rate.
In Natchitoches Parish.
Yes, I understand. Okay.
And also, isn't there a financial benefit to the parish? I remember we talked about this several years ago.
Yes, there is currently. I will tell you with the bond, it's a little bit more structured on that. We do still have our TVA programs, and we do share all of those fees with you. On the bond, it will be a little bit different, but you still will be getting taxpayer dollars as far as that goes, and helping those home buyers be able to enter into the parish.
Do you have the numbers that we've accumulated so far?
Currently, I know, now I will tell you, it's been a little bit more restrictive since 2023, which is why we're issuing the bond. But we've, right at 27,2870 is what $2,780 that we've given back since we've entered into 2021.
So you're able to help Natchitoches residents get into a house,
Correct.
help them with their down payment, and the parish makes a little money from it.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Question, I'm happy to answer.
Who's gonna be the representative? Somebody wants to say, are we qualified? My husband and I, or my
So
bride?
we work with approved lenders. The lenders have to be approved in order to offer it, but we partner with lenders and realtors in order to get the word out there. We do a lot of education as well, as far as partnering and doing home buying seminars so that they know what they need to do. If they're not purchase ready now, we can partner with them to help them get purchase ready and understand what that, what they need to do in order to get there.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any more questions from the council? Okay, thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
I need to get a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. G, council to authorize the parish president to enter a CEA between the Natchitoches Parish government and the Roebling Heritage Society, INC, for uses of a parish building/land. It was also tabled last month. It's back on it this time.
What we're gonna do?
Information on it.
I asked a question last month, if I may, why don't we just give this property to the village of Roebling? Did you look into that?
I did not. My focus was on the CEA in terms of correcting what we perceived was an error, and I quite honestly didn't remember that I was to look into that to transfer. But that's what the purpose of the CEA is, that correction has been made.
Well, we've got a building that don't belong to us sitting on our property. And then we got a building next to it that does belong to us on the same property that's fixing to fall if we don't do something with that.
Is that the library?
Yeah. And I don't think they're interested in that. Well, I don't know why we can't work out a deal and let them worry about tearing it down or whatever and make a parking lot out of it.
If there's some benefit to the parish, then it should be appropriate to do that.
Well, we're fixing to have a auction for adjudicated property.
Right.
We got property laying around this parish that we're not using for anything, and there's no taxes being paid on it, and
yeah, well,
it wouldn't be if they got it anyway.
There's a difference in adjudicated property is not owned by the parish versus this property, which is
Well,
parish.
I understand, and I don't know how we come by this property.
I'm not disagreeing with you, I just don't.
And we talked about it, even if they did a lease for whatever, we do that, I mean.
Let's use it to them.
Yeah, and basically, what I mean,
Well,
50 years.
he got it worked out to do a CEA, I'm just saying, you know, but anyway.
I think that's part of the CEA, that they're taking on some financial responsibilities to maintain it. So at least the parish, am I wrong?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So last time we identified the wrong building, it was the old library. We corrected that on here, and even though we don't own the building, I put the building in the CEA so that if something happens 10, 20 years, whatever, something happens down the road, and somebody says, oh no, y'all have some 1% of ownership in that building. Well, we've given you full rights to use that. So that's why it's the building and the land. On this parcel of land is not subdivided, but it is listed as 3 separate lots. I think it's 16, 17, and 18. This building is pretty much on 17, but you access it from 16, so you kind of got to have both of them. You got to have access to both of them. And then we've got our compactors, our dumpster compactor station behind that. And I know you guys are trying to do this now, and so anything that happens in the future, we could amend this CEA, I would imagine, or write a new CEA, but at least you've got access, if we vote on this, to the building via our land now, and if there's ever any doubt as to whether or not we own the building, which right now there's not, but we don't know what will happen in the future, we've still said, if anybody ever says that we have it, we still give you rights to that building. And so that's what this CEA does. It just ties them both together for our purposes on liability and your purposes for taking care of the insurance and the utilities and that kind of stuff.
Those lots are probably 30 feet wide. When the railroad came through up there, they built Roebling and they laid Roebling out in Provincetown. We got 30 by 90 and 30 by 60 lots.
Most of ours are 50 by 100.
Yeah, well, they did, the railroad won't lay that out, so we can't change that.
This will give you access to about 100
Yeah,
by
I'll offer
100.
motion.
And they
I'll
run
offer-
away from the road.
I second.
Not in the road, but
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Passed. H, council to award the additive alternate for the resurfacing of Hart Road to APAC Construction. Is APAC? APAC?
APAC.
APAC. Okay.
William Boyd.
Any question?
It doesn't make what the answer.
Who had a question?
I didn't.
I'll offer, let's go.
I'll second it.
Mr. Page?
It's Hart Road up, where am I with the gray hat on?
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Hart Road.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you.
Is there any business for non-agenda items on number 13? No,
I have one. I just want to let everybody know that we have some new communication equipment that has made it here. My goal is to make sure that the parishioners in the parish can see this meeting. We're live streaming right now on YouTube. We're gonna get the information out of all the other places that you can see it, i.e. our website. We have to be digitally ready to go by 2025 per state mandate. And all of I have a lot of people that ask me, how do I get to see the meeting? Well, we're gonna bring it to you. That's all I wanted to say.
Do you have an idea what the timeline would be?
We're doing it right now.
Oh, it's now? Okay. Is that on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am, right this minute.
And Facebook.
And Facebook.
Make an offer for adjournment?
I'll
say.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Adjourned.
I got to show you, brother.